Welcome back, everybody. So we've finished reading Act 1 and you guys have taken your quiz already. I figured I would just quickly review what we've read so far before we jump into Act 2. So in Scene 1, the very opening scene of the play, we meet three weird women, presumably witches, who chant, "Fair is foul, foul is fair," which introduces the mood as evil and foreboding, but it also introduces the theme appearance versus reality, which we'll be focusing on for a majority of the play. In Scene 2, we hear from a bloody sergeant that Macbeth is pretty much tearing it up down on the battlefield against Norway. He unseams MacDonald from the nave to the chaps, and then he even defeats a fresh assault. So he comes out having won the war for Scotland against Norway. In Scene 3, as Banquo and Macbeth are on their way back home, I guess you could say, they are approached by the three witches who hail Macbeth, Thane of Cawdor, and King. And this obviously is the prophecy. Banquo also gets a prophecy that his children will one day become king. They both respond differently. Macbeth believes it immediately and then is subsequently named Thane of Cawdor, which excites him even more and makes him believe it even more. Banquo is a little bit more suspicious of these witches. In Scene 4, Malcolm is named Prince of Cumberland. So these are just different titles of nobility, but Prince of Cumberland would have been the next in line to the throne. So it would go King, Prince of Cumberland, Thane of Cawdor, right, which is Macbeth's current position. Macbeth starts thinking that this is a step on which he must fall down or else overleap. In Scene 4, Malcolm is named. Oh, no, we just talked about that. In Scene 5, we meet Lady Macbeth, Macbeth's wife, and we start to see a little bit about her character. She reaches out, calling out to the witches, asking them to unsex her here, take away her femininity, so that she would be able to commit this murder herself. So that kind of introduces you to her character right off the bat, and we'll see more about that in Scene 7. Duncan arrives in Scene 6 for some dramatic irony. He approaches the castle, commenting on how sweet and pleasant the air seems around it, but this is obviously ironic because he is walking right into what later becomes hell after we see the Macbeths plan his murder. And then Scene 7, we see Lady Macbeth in her element here. She says that she would bash her child's brain in if she needed to. And this ultimately urges Macbeth on, and at the end of the scene, Macbeth resolves to go through with the murder. So that is a quick review of Act 1, and now we're going to get into Act 2.